Hey, TreShaun, just looking at how deep this defensive line is. I mean, is there a time you sit back and maybe watch the second and third string guys and go, "Man, this group's going to be good"?
Absolutely. Actually, like I say, this is one of the first years where I'm actually like getting to see like some of the guys that really didn't get to play as much last year or the previous years. I'm seeing them step up and like actually prove themselves and show that they have just as much skill as any of us, and they can still hold it down whether or not I'm in or the starters are in. So it's really cool to see those guys stepping up and taking care of their business too.
Who are some of those guys that are stepping up?
Some of those guys are Marquise. We have Reverend. Um, we got guys like even Kendi, even though he played a lot, I feel like Kendi stepped up a lot now. Like Kendi's moved up to even playing with the ones now and like just going out there and dominating still and showing that he can hold his ground with us. And there's guys like Ike. Um, there's guys like who is it, Bryce. Um, there's guys like Chris Body. Yeah, we got a pretty deep defensive line, and we have a lot of talent that I feel like wasn't noticed before, but it's starting to get noticed now.
Is that a is that because you have a new defensive line coach in Jeremy Garrett, or is it just because of guys being with Coach Dom and the system for a year or 2 years that they're finally the cream's starting to rise to the top?
I definitely think it has mostly to do with um, Coach Dom's work ethic that he instilled in us. I feel like he created a culture where we are focused on not only getting stronger together, but we're focusing on the little things that need to be focused on as well. Like just making sure our bodies are taken care of, making sure that we're getting the right nutrition that we're supposed to be getting and stuff like that. And I feel like those little things have really helped us as a whole like become stronger and help those guys that needed just a little extra push or just needed to work a little bit harder than others. I feel like those guys are really being able to step up now just because of the work we've been putting in off the field.
Speaking of Coach Garrett, what's been your initial reaction to him being your new position coach, and what have you done through these first few weeks of practices that have you saying, "Man, it's good to have a guy who's coached NFL talent here working with us"?
Um, Working with him has been honestly it's been a blessing. Just taking so much knowledge from him and just listening to everything he's given us and the little tweaks that he has to tell us like just fix your technique here or fix your alignment here. It's just those little things he's been able to provide have been like a huge advantage for us, I would say, just because having that experience and able to share it with us, and us just take it in and actually use it and implement it on the field. It's just been you can see it the difference between the guys like the angles that we take or just how we rush or just how we play a certain block. It's just you can see all of those techniques that we've been working on coming to play on the field, and it's been amazing to see it and amazing to just learn from him and actually take in those things that he wants us to learn. It's been cool.
As one of the leaders on the defense, how has the transition been from having Coach Aldridge as your position coach to now being a defensive coordinator?
Uh, I would say that it's the same as any new coach that we get. They have little expectations of you. They just hear what they're told. They just know what the coaches tell them. They know what the other players say. So I would say that he had a little expectations from like the players who knew were leaders, the players he knew were the guys that were supposed to get it done and be the example for the other guys. And I would say that he just expected us to do the right thing, and he expected not to have to coach us as much, but he still spends as much time with us that he spends with the other guys. So I'm still able to learn different things and actually like listen in when he's coaching other guys and make sure that I'm relaying that messages to the other guys who may not be paying attention, who just can't hear. So is as a leader, I feel like it didn't affect me much just because it's football and we get new coaches, a lot, and we just have to learn to grow with those new coaches and still take in the new information that they can bring us because we never know what they can give to the team.
TreShaun, I want to ask you about the offensive line that you're going against here every day and some of the new guys up there. Is there anyone that's really been I don't want to say that you don't want to go against, but it's always challenging. But is there anyone that's really challenged you amongst the newcomers up there?
Um, I would say I would definitely say Will Buchanan. He gives me a challenge just because I go against him constantly, and I feel like he starts to learn certain things that I do, certain tendencies that I may have that I don't even notice. I feel like he starts to pick up on things like that just because he goes against me so often, and he's an aggressive player. I would say that, and I think he gives me the biggest challenge just in that aspect. But I would say I go against everybody and I attack it the same way. I don't feel like I fear anybody, but Will, I would say he gives me the biggest challenge just because he goes against me so much.
How about this offense in general, just going against it? And you get to see them when Charlie's out there at quarterback, when JB's out there. Does it flow a certain way when not better or worse, but just does it flow differently when one of them's out there as opposed to another one? Could you give me an example of that, maybe?
Um, I would. I would say the ball definitely probably gets passed more when like JB's in or maybe Caden K-Salt when he's in the ball probably gets passed more just because they have a little quickness to them. K-Salt especially, he's a swifty quarterback. But we give them the same pressure every time. We bring it every time, and we're always in their face in the backfield. So we make it hard for them to be able to do anything. So I would say there's not many times where you get something different from each one just because we're attacking it the same way. So they kind of have to, play off of us and what we're doing, and they got to make plays off of just being able to scramble or get away from us.
How elusive is Salter back there, and just the other ones too?
He's pretty elusive. JB's elusive now too. JB's picked up some speed. He's gotten some quickness to him. But no, they both have really shown improvement in just their elusiveness and being able to get out of the pocket when they need to get out of the pocket and stuff like that. But we definitely make it hard for them. We make it hard for K-Salt to show his speed and to show his quickness. We make it hard.
And TreShaun, I wanted to ask you about two new tackles that the offensive line got, Nasir Watkins and Reggie Young. How have they looked so far?
They've looked pretty good, in my opinion. I haven't really gotten to go against them much. I know that I went against both of them in just pass rush, and they both given me a challenge just because they're new, and I have to learn how they play as well. I have to learn their tendencies and stuff like that. So they've been able to just come and do what they want to do, and they're actually taking the steps to learn and get better. And you can see that they're willing to learn and that they're listening and they're actually giving it their all each time. And I like them as people in general. They're both cool people off the field as well. And just to see them on the field and actually succeeding and doing what they're supposed to do, it's good to watch, especially from the defensive side. I want the offensive line to be able to succeed this year.
Have how have Jay and Dre acclimated themselves to the defensive line?
Jay, I haven't seen much of him recently. We're hoping to get him soon, though. But Dre is a beast. Dre is a powerhouse. He just can't be stopped. When he's ready, when he's on full go mode, like you cannot stop him, and he's like a train. And I love to watch him play. Like it's just having him on the field at the same time with me is just as fun as having Boozy. Is just as fun as having Kendi out there. So I love it.
He brought up Bryce Dixon. How's he looked so far in his first spring?
Bryce Bryce has shown like extreme improvement just from day one to now. Like just watching him like make a couple mistakes in the beginning and actually trying to correct those mistakes that he was making. And he plays so aggressive. Like he's not scared. He's not timid. Like one thing he's going to do is get a knockback. He's going to knock them off the line every time. And we love that. We hope for that. Like whether or not you can run the play right, at least be able to go 100% every single time so you can still have a chance to make the play.
One more from me, just looking ahead at the schedule. I know you guys are locked in on, spring ball and all that, but, you think about Virginia Tech's coming here this year, BYU's coming here. You guys get to go play at Arkansas. There's been a lot made of this schedule. I mean, how much does it excite you as a player? And what do you think about, just getting ready for those games?
I get really excited. Honestly, the games are my favorite part. I'd probably say the same for a lot of the players in there. But I'm excited. Like, this is probably one of the hardest seasons since I've been here. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm just hoping that we can go out there as a team and just dominate again and again and again and again and get done what we hope to get done and what we put in the work to get done. Because we put in a lot of work, like blood, sweat, and tears, people injured, tired, like just a lot. And I just want to see it implemented on the field. Like, I can't wait to see how we come together as a whole team. Because there's competition between us now, but when we come together to play a game, it's like a different feeling. Like when we all come together as a big family, and I love it.